Hey all, welcome back to the channel. Welcome to Monday, welcome to Countdown Day. And you know, it's very common within the Transformers fandom, and I assume other fandoms, for there to be that one go-to bot. The one that you go to when you need to fiddle or fidget at your desk, for example. Or the one that when you've had a bad day or a stressful day, it's your comfort bot. It is your go-to bot. The one that you always kind of go back and revisit, the one you always take in your hand, and granted, it might change as time and molds change, and granted, maybe this particular topic is particular to a certain time. So, maybe right now in the summer of 2023, this top 10 list would change and look different if it was a year earlier or a year later. Nevertheless, based on fan votes, we're going to be looking at, this time around, the top 10 go-to desk/comfort bots in the latest GotBot Counts Down. Hey all, welcome back to the channel. I'm your host, your most humble of hosts, Dennis Moulton, aka GotBot. As always, please like, comment, share, of course, subscribe, and while you are at it, light 'em up, baby. Hit that notification bell, please. It helps me out a ton, and it'll let you know when content of all sorts goes up here on the channel. Check out Machinery of Man, The Everything Factor, all the groups that I'm either a mod or an admin for, as well as all of my social media links. All of that is in the description down below, and also in the description down below. And if you're in a position to help the channel to grow, you can use the donate link. Check us out on Patreon, see what we have to offer to you through spring, or of course hit the join button at any given time and become a channel member. If you happen to hear some wind, it's pretty warm here, so I actually have the window next to me open. So if you hear some wind, that's why. It went from like a frost warning to like 30 degrees Celsius here. Go figure, right? But this will be the top 10 desk/comfort bots. Those go-to bots that, you know what? Whether it's because you're trying to distract yourself or comfort yourself or focus yourself or whatever reason, it's that one that you always go to, that mold of a particular character that you always go to and say, you know what, when I reach for something on the shelf, this is what I reach for. The voting was wildly fast and furious for this one. So much so that we're going to go through a number of votes after. But when it comes to the honorable mentions, we actually have, get this, 12. Why so many honorable mentions? Because they all have the exact same number of votes. I could not do one or two of these without doing all of them because they have the exact same number of votes. None of them had enough to rank. You'll see when we get to the end, you'll see how this is a case where it was very difficult based on the voting for there to only be 10, right? Because there was such a wide variety. The honorable mentions include Dark of the Moon Ultimate Optimus Prime. Very interesting that someone would choose him. I find him to be kind of a bear to transform, but there's a certain beauty to it, so I get it, but I'm also surprised by it. MP Ultra Magnus as a desk comfort bot. Interesting choice there. Studio Series 38, kind of not surprised. I know how popular that mold is. Combiner Wars Ultra Magnus. That I get. I have mine up there, and I do adore him every time he's in my hands. Trypticon. I thought that was an interesting one. Specifically, the Titans Return Trypticon, but I gotta believe that some of those votes were also for the G1 Trypticon. Titans Return Cup. The, what else did we have here? Oh, the Gamer Edition, the new Gamer Edition Optimus Prime. G1 Bumblebee and G1 Optimus Prime, both very classic. Kingdom Optimus Primal, an interesting one, very quick to go between modes, and with his hinge and swivel joints, a lot of the movements and poses you could put him in, very satisfying to move like the bicep swivel and the elbow, for example, right? Rise of the Beasts mainline Optimus Prime. I don't know. I haven't handled it at this point. I don't know. I wouldn't be able to tell you if it's good, but I know it had some votes. And the new Core Class Legacy Evolution Swoop. A lot of people saying that he's a real gem and a real joy. None of them made the list. So who did? You know what we're going to do. We're going to do as we always do and kick things off with number 10 up first. Now, number 10 is a really interesting one because it's the Studio Series 86 Gnaw. Now, here's what's interesting about it. Not everybody, but the vast majority of people who voted for this guy said, well, one of my favorite desk bots was the G1 Gnaw, and that got replaced by the Titans Return Gnaw. A couple of people mentioned like the BotCon, like that boat one, for example, but most people said, The G1 got replaced by the Titan's Return as my deskbot, and the Titan's Return got replaced by the Studio Series 86 as a deskbot. Very interesting. I thought that there might be some more votes for some of the third-party Sharkticons, but I mean, it is what it is. But yeah, Studio Series 86 Gnaw. Great robot mode, great joints, fun, somewhat simple transformation. What's not to like? And that's why this guy takes the number 10 slot. Now, not everybody wants to have some sort of a shark be their comfort bot or their desk bot. Some people prefer the machines, prefer the cars. Some people prefer the real sleek cars, such as Earthrise Sunstreaker. Earthrise Sunstreaker, specifically the Earthrise version, is the one that got the votes. A lot of people said that that they love the way the feet transform. They also like the fact that, you know, you do have to move the chest, you do have to swivel the waist. There's enough moving parts here that the transformation's really, really interesting to get to that beautiful car mode. But at the same time, it's smooth to get back to a really serviceable, effective robot mode. They also said, in a lot of cases, not all votes, but in a lot of cases, they also said, you know what, if you got spoiler bits, mine are 3D printed from our buddy Grimlock Gone, but if you got spoiler bits that you can add into, all the better. But the only thing that this beautiful bot is missing is a proper blaster, because this thing kind of don't count for most people. But going between modes, just the kind of bright, sunny disposition that he has, you know, in robot mode or car mode, on your desk, on your shelf, I get why he would stand out. I get why he might be a comfort. Earthrise Sunstreaker takes the number 9 slot. Now, while some people can really get behind the idea of the nice, bright, sunshiny yellow as a means of improving your mood if you're having a tough day, or, you know what, servicing as a nice, bright disposition way to start your day, some people said, I want an alt mode that's a little more off-world. Enter Legacy Velocitron 500 Cosmos. Yeah, a lot of people say that this has become a new favorite deskbot of theirs because the guy, again, has nice bright yellowy colors, nice bright disposition here, and we always kind of think of Cosmos as kind of jovial, I think. Plus, going to the shuttle mode is interesting but not hard, and then when you're there in the little UFO mode, like, it's a cute, serviceable little UFO to have on your desk to just kind of fly around a little bit, you know? To be fair, I will mention it now, though it had less votes, the Titan's Return / Generations Legends class Cosmos also had some votes. Interestingly, not the Classics Universe Legends one and not the G1, but there were a few for the, I guess, the Prime Wars version, if you want to call it that, but there were a lot more for the Velocitron version. The lovely, boisterous, weird little UFO known as Cosmos takes the number 8 slot. For number 7, pretty much any time that you do a version of, you know, a favorite Transformer or a favorite character from a particular line, in this case the Kingdom line, or best piece of engineering or something of that nature, invariably, almost invariably, you're gonna at some point see Cyclonus. Yeah, whether this mold or the Metal Hawk or the Selects, this is a joy to transform between plane and robot, and it is a nice, clean joy of a robot with great hinges and swivels. It's a beautiful, sleek plane. What's not to like about Kingdom Cyclonus? He'll always make you feel better if you're feeling a little down and need a little TLC, or he will obviously be able to service as well as a way to kind of generate your thinking, get you back focused on track at your desk. Whatever you need the guy for, Kingdom Cyclonus is up to it. And he takes the number 7 slot. Now, for a go-to deskbot / comfort bot, I thought this one was really out of left field and very, very interesting because it's none other than Cerebros. Yeah, the head of Fortress Maximus. The Titans Return Cerebros. A few people voted for the G1 Cerebros. A couple of people voted for that Fans Toy Just Head version, but most people voted for the Titans Return version. Very interesting. A couple of people said, actually, I like to take Cerebros and take him from Fort Max head mode to robot mode, and then I like to remove his head and make the little emissary / spike next to him. I get it. I absolutely get it. Yeah, Cerebros. I mean, it's very simple to go back to modes, and honestly, there's something about doing this one movement where you're covering and uncovering the face of Fort Max. That one movement, along with the ears, I don't know why, I don't know, I guess, the motivation, but for some reason those two movements are extremely satisfying. For somebody who really sees value in a deskbot slash comfort bot, I understand how some of these movements on this guy would be really satisfying. Same with bringing the whole arm forward. Yeah, filler fell out in there. They're fillers from Toy Hacks, but they don't fit him very good. And the stickers don't stay on him very good either. I'm always fixing the visor one. It has been out for years now and it always likes to come off. I don't know. I don't think the filler is great, but I do think Cerebros is great. And for that reason he takes the number 6 slot. And a hush falls over the crowd as we reach the ever-coveted, ever-popular halfway mark. And at the halfway mark, we have one of my favorites, too, by way of Titan's Return Hot Rod. Specifically, the Titan's Return version. Those who voted for him said, look, the simplicity of the arms going in, the interesting nature of taking this piece down and turning it around, it's easy, but, like, again, it's interesting because of how compact it can get in robot mode. The simplicity and the joy of the legs opening them up, they simply fold up. There's almost nothing here not to like in terms of flicking back and forth between modes. Plus, in vehicle mode you get a slick looking car, and in robot mode you get a great looking bot who is quite poseable for getting some excellent poses and articulation on your shelf or on your desk. Maybe it's also the warm colors of red, orange, and yellow, because any way you cut it, whether this mode or the other mode, those really pop. And usually those warm, inviting colors can help ease and refocus a mind, whether you need comfort or whether you need to get back on task at your desk. Go to deskbot comfort bot. At the halfway mark, at number 5, Titan's Return Hot Rod. And at number 4, we have something very rare on the countdown. We have another version of an exact same character that's already appeared on the list. A lot of times when I do these lists, it's either the top 10 versions of a particular character, in which case all 10 are going to technically be the same character, or I say, you know, it's a certain Transformers character. It doesn't matter what mold it is, whether it's official or third party, because it's focused on the character. In this case, for these go-to comfort bots, desk bots, it has to be a specific mold and has to be a specific character, which lent itself nicely to having the same character appear more than once. In this case, the character at number 5 was the Titan's Return Hot Rod, while the character at number 4 is the Studio Series 86 Hot Rod. This one, I don't understand. I don't like the transformation of this at all. But fans do. They said that they find it very smooth, very easy. I don't. I find the legs super duper cumbersome. They squeak when I open them up. I've talked about this before. I only find it to be a mediocre deluxe. I don't get the praise for this. Again, this is a case though where my opinion doesn't matter because it's based on the votes. And what voters said is they said that they find the transformation smooth somehow, some way, and they find that the vehicle mode looks very rewarding, even though all I notice in the vehicle mode is the yellow piece on the top that sticks out to me like a sore thumb. And they said in robot mode he has such dynamic posability, and indeed he does. I will give you credit where credit is due. It's just too bad literally every single hinge and joint on this guy is the wrong color. And that stands out to me. Yeah, I don't know. Studio Series 86 Hot Rod, for some reason he takes the number 4 slot. So at number 3, I actually reviewed this character, but it was on loan to me. I don't own it. I own a version of this character, but not the correct mold. The character is Soundwave. The mold, however, is the Kingdom Legacy Core Class Soundwave, the small one that still turns into a cassette player. I chose the Netflix one because at least this one turns into a cassette player. The small core one, very similar to this, obviously a little more hollow, and when you transform it to cassette player mode, the toes do sort of stick up, but you can sort of change and alter that transformation a little bit. I did review them, and I'll put a link in a card to the review up in the corner. We also know that this same mold has been used now for Sound Blaster, which by the way looks beautiful in black and gray with the purple chest. The little core version, when I reviewed it, he scored very well, other than his very hollow head. But he has great articulation, he has a fun little transformation, and he really looks the part very, very nicely. The core class, Kingdom, Legacy. I guess you can even say Legacy Evolution if you wanted to include the core Sound Blaster in it. The mold has gone through a few lines and a couple of iterations, and it's fantastic every single time. And it takes the number 3 slot. Only 2 left, and at number 2, I'm a bit surprised because this mold actually gets a lot of flack, but at the same time, a lot of people love it, and that's why it was able to rank as one of the best comfort / deskbots. Who is it? It's Earthrise Optimus Prime. I really thought if any War for Cybertron Optimus was going to take it, it would be the Siege one, but Earthrise Optimus Prime, and a lot of people said the same thing. They said, look, you have to pay attention when you're transforming him because of the way the whole chest unfurls, and you have to make sure that the panels go in the correct way and the correct order of operation. So you have to pay attention doing this guy. If you're stressed about something, that distractions can sometimes reduce said stress. If you feel like you need the tactile sensation of smooth moving pieces, even the swinging of the shoulder joints is nice and smooth and solid. Or when you open the inner arm here and fold in the wrist, nice and smooth. But none of it's frustrating. You have to pay attention, but none of it's frustrating. That's what I like about it. Those who had him as a deskbot said, very often when I'm thinking about, for example, how to word an email, or I'm thinking about a response to something, or I quite simply feel a little overwhelmed and I just want to sit back and take a break for a few minutes before I kind of refocus and go back into it. This guy is just involved enough to kind of give me those few moments to kind of reorient myself. I get it, I understand it. He's involved, but not too involved. Yeah, Earthrise Optimus Prime takes the number 2 slot. And boy, oh boy, here we are at tippy top number 1. And to be fair, this mold I've only, even though I own a bunch of versions of it, this mold I've only ever kind of been on. It's okay. And it is a Sideswipe mold, though I don't have it as Sideswipe. I have it as a number of other characters, but not Sideswipe. It is the specifically Siege Sideswipe mold. Now, again, because this was character specific and this is actually deep cover, the answer at number 1 is actually Siege Sideswipe. But since I don't have the Siege Sideswipe, I have the Earth version of Sideswipe, which is a slightly different mold. I happen to root this guy out because how often do I get to show off the blue colored version of deep cover, you know? But yeah, I guess I get it. It came out and it had very little hollowness. I mean, even on the inside of the forearm here, it's not really very hollow. It's still kind of filled in. I guess the inner thighs are kind of hollow, but a lot of people said, like, I've always liked the transformation of this guy. I've always liked the articulation on this guy. Even something like the little auto feature here on the back of the knees, if you bend the knee up, right? Like, I just bent the knee up, that piece of the car is out. Same here, that piece of the car is out, you know? There are things about this mold to like. No doubt about it. I do tend to find sometimes the feet in particular on some copies of the mold to be really scary, and I'm afraid that they're going to break off someday. Not this copy of the mold. I prefer the Earth version, but that's not what got the votes. Funny enough, the Earth version didn't get any votes, but the Siege Sideswipe version got plenty. Enough that Siege Sideswipe was able to take number 1. And there you go, 10 down to 1 once again, and other ones that got votes did not appear on the list. Get ready for this. I'm going to kind of go through as many as I can here. Let's start with G1 Blitzwing, Kingdom Dinobot, Studio Series Cheetor, the new Cheetor, right? The Core Class Kingdom Legacy Megatron. The Thrilling 30 Orion Pax, G1 Ironhide, I thought that was interesting. Gigawatt, which is kind of a play on the Sideswipe one. G1 Double Dealer. The Nest Brawl, I thought that was a good one. Both the Studio Series Core Shockwave and the Studio Series Legacy Shockwave, they both had votes. The Bumblebee movie Brawn from Studio Series. Computron, specifically the G1 Computron. 86 Grimlock. Siege Jetfire, I get that one. Legacy Dead End. MP Soundwave Needle Nose. APC Optimus Prime in his trailer, or the first edition Optimus Prime, kind of whichever you prefer. G1 Goldbug, I thought that was an interesting one. One of the BotBots, Burgertron. Thrilling 30 Swerve, Combiner Wars Minimus Ambus. Golly, who else here? Earthrise Trailbreaker, Bumblebee Movie Ironhide, Cyberverse, the little Cyberverse Scraplet, that's a great one. Shattered Glass Grimlock, which again I guess is kind of the Studio Series 86 version. The G1 Sharkticon, of course. Studio Series Scrapper, Siege, Red Alert, which is a play on the Siege Sideswipe again. Kingdom Earraiser, I can get behind that one. Revenge of the Fallen, Insecticon, Studio Series 83 Soundwave, Siege Ultra Magnus, Earthrise Ultra Magnus, MMC Rodimus, I can't remember what the MMC name is on the guy, Iron Factory Starscream, Big Powered, though somebody tried to squeeze in an Ultra Powered vote. That was just too many. The only reason Big Powered was allowed is because technically all three of those guys came in the exact same package and count as one. Legacy Metal Hawk. To be fair though, Big Powered was an iffy one. Legacy Metal Hawk, which again kind of ties in with the Cyclonus a bit. G1 Warpath. I like this one. Titan's Return, Power Master Optimus Prime. Specifically the North American version. I thought that was interesting. G1 Sea Spray, MP Skids, Kingdom Blaster, G1 Blaster, Kingdom Core Optimus Prime, The Last Night Megatron. Is that it? No, hold on. G1 Cliff Jumper, Siege Skywarp, Cyberverse Shockwave, or Earthspark Shockwave, New Age Soundwave, War for Cybertron Video Game Cliff Jumper, the original, War for Cybertron Earthrise Cliff Jumper, Reveal the Shield, Legends Optimus Prime, the Legends Spy Changer sized, RID 2001 Scourge, Earthrise Scorponok, Downbeat. Who made Downbeat? I can't remember. Make Toys, I think, made Downbeat, if I'm not mistaken. Red Coronation Starscream, Red. Megatron. Velocitron, Speedia 500 Override. Hunt for the Decepticons Hubcap, Big Daddy from one of the movie lines, G1 Frenzy, the KO of Studio Series 44 Optimus Prime, Rise of the Beast Bumblebee, Core, Shockwave, I think I already said him, Thrilling 30 Sandstorm, the original Optimus Primal, Power of the Prime Slash, Combiner Wars Devastator, G1 Slam Dance, Buzzworthy Bumblebee Origins Jazz, G1 Hound, Tomahawk, that was a great mold. Legacy Blitzwing, I said the G1 earlier, Siege Crosshairs, the Power of the Primes Legends Class Beachcomber, Netflix Soundwave, who I actually used for the discussing the core Soundwave, Legacy Scourge, that would be the G2 or Laser Prime repaint one. MPM Barricade, Transmetal Tarantulas, Dark of the Moon Ratchet, War for Cybertron, Netflix Bumblebee, War for Cybertron Gamer Bumblebee, and for I don't know, one more because I've said a whole bunch here. How about this one? Fans Project Steel Core. Them and even more if you can believe it. I went through all of that and even more still. Let me know if your favorite made the list, made the honorable mentions, was mentioned at all. I appreciate you guys coming by, giving me some of your extremely valuable time. I do know how important it is to you. If you're in a position to help the channel to grow, you can use the donate link. Check us out on Patreon. See what we have to offer to you through Spring, or of course, hit the join button at any given time and become a channel member. While you're at it, you can hit the subscribe button. Stick around, man. Please have some fun with us here on the channel. And especially don't forget that somehow, man, some way, each and every single solitary day, you right there, you do make a difference in the world. And I look forward to the next time that you and I get together to have another visit, either in the live streams on Thursday nights, at the stop motion premieres, or the old-fashioned way right here inside the videos.